What if the very thing you are trying to control is the thing keeping you stuck? I want to say one simple thing before we go further. If this feels true for you, leave the sentence, "I let things flow," in the comments below. A small, public step like that helps settle the body into the choice you are making. You have been carrying a steady, low hum of worry. Maybe it sits behind your chest. Maybe it wakes you at night. You try to plan, to fix, to predict. You check messages, refresh pages, rehearse conversations. You push and push, hoping to nudge life into shape. That push feels responsible, feels like effort, feels like safety, but there is a cost. Your energy tightens, your decisions narrow. Opportunities slip because your attention is elsewhere. The very force you use to protect what you care about often blocks what you want most. I want to talk about a different approach. A way to act that does not mean giving up. It means shifting the posture behind your action. It means spending a little less time on the anxious pushing and a little more time on clear, calm movement. That shift is simple. It is not new. It is practical. Imagine you are trying to carry a tray full of water. If you grip it so tight your hands shake, the water sloshes. If you tense your arms, you wobble. Now imagine carrying the same tray with relaxed hands, steady breath, and your gaze ahead. The water stays calm. You reach the table with less effort. The world is not changed by your desperation, your fear, or your tight grip. The world responds to the way you hold yourself. There is a philosophy that points to this, one word that names the natural way things move when we stop forcing them. It is called the Tao. I only use that word once because the idea is what matters. The Tao is about moving with what is already happening, instead of moving against it. When we worry, two things happen at once. One, our attention narrows into future problems that might never arrive. Two, our body tenses and our thinking gets stuck in small loops. Worry is a tight knot of attention and tension. The knot makes it harder to see the next practical step. It makes us reactive. It makes plans brittle. Stopping worrying is not magic. It does not mean you will never feel fear or uncertainty again. It means you train the mind to pause and then choose an oriented, grounded response. It means you allow possibilities to show up that were invisible when you were pushing. Here is the single shift that changes everything. Trade forcing for leaning. Forcing is the effort to make outcomes happen by sheer will. Leaning is the skill of placing your weight, your attention, and your energy where it actually helps. When you lean, you are still engaged. You still act. But your actions come from calm clarity, not from adrenaline. Leaning looks like this in day-to-day life. Instead of trying to micromanage every outcome, you do what matters next. Instead of planning every minute of the future, you choose one next step and follow its feedback. Instead of arguing with reality, you respond to the information reality gives you. This does not mean passivity. It means a smarter use of your time and energy. You will still make plans. You will still set goals. But you stop adding anxiety to the mix that blurs how to reach them. Now, I want you to practice 3 simple shifts today. These are practical. They fit into your life. Each one is short and each one trains the same muscle. The ability to stop the tightening and act from calm. Exercise 1, the 2-minute pause. What it is, a mini reset. A deliberate break between impulse and action. How to do it today. The next time you notice worry, your heart speeding, your thoughts repeating, stop. Take 2 slow breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. Count to 4 as you inhale, count to 4 as you exhale. Keep your shoulders soft. Say silently, "I will respond, not react." Then look around you, notice one thing blue, one thing round, one sound nearby. After the 2 minutes, choose one small, sensible step and do it. What feeling to notice? Pay attention to any shift in pressure in your chest. Notice whether your hands feel lighter. Listen for less urgent inner speech. The 2-minute pause usually brings a small relief. That relief is usefulness. It lets you think clearly. Exercise 2, the field map. What it is, a quick split of what you can affect and what you cannot. How to do it today. Take a sheet of paper, draw a line down the middle. On the left-right, I can influence. On the right-right, I cannot control. Spend 5 to 10 minutes listing items as they come. Be honest. For example, I can influence, send the email, prepare the pitch, apologizing if I messed up. I cannot control their reaction, the weather, other people's timelines. Then circle 3 items under I can influence and write one small next action for each. Finally, pick the top action and schedule a 15-minute block to do it today. What feeling to notice? Notice any sense of clarity. Notice the worry that was broad and hazy become focused. When you separate the field, worry tends to shrink. You feel steadier and more capable. Exercise 3. The one small step rule. What it is? A practice of choosing the smallest meaningful next action and following through. How to do it today? Look at something that has been worrying you. Break it down until you find one very small step that will move it forward. For example, if you are anxious about a relationship, the step might be to send a short, calm message asking for a time to talk. If you are worried about work, the step can be to draft a single paragraph. Set a timer for 20 minutes, do that one task and stop. No grand plans, just one small move. What feeling to notice? Notice the relief of motion. Notice whether the internal drama quiets when you actually start. Often, doing a simple thing proves the situation is not as blocking as it felt. These 3 practices are the training ground. They teach your nervous system that you can pause, see clearly, and act in a way that actually helps. Over time, you will notice less of that background hum of worry. You will notice more clarity and calm. If you are thinking, this sounds too simple, that is a normal reaction. Simplicity can feel like it is not enough because worry sells us complexity, endless plans, lists, what-ifs. But simple things done reliably change the nervous system. They change how you move through the day. You are allowed to be scared. You are allowed to be impatient. Worry is often the signal that you care deeply. That caring is not the problem. The problem is how worry takes over and replaces action with fear. Let me tell you a short story about a woman named Maya. She had a freelance business that she loved, but she lived with a steady low-level dread. She checked invoices obsessively. She refreshed her email until her eyes hurt. She found herself saying yes to projects she did not want, because saying no felt risky. Her days were dense and tired. One winter morning she realized she had spent an entire weekend getting anxious about a client meeting that had not even been scheduled yet. The worry had replaced the work. She decided to try something different. She promised herself, for 1 week, she would stop the spiral at the first sign of lengthening worry. She set a small rule. When anxiety rose, she would do a 2-minute pause and one small step. The first day she felt the familiar knot in her belly, and instead of flooding her mind with future horror stories, she took 2 slow breaths, opened her notes, and wrote one sentence. Agenda for client meeting. That single sentence cleared a space. She called, scheduled a time, and then turned off her email. That evening she felt lighter. The next morning she used the small step rule again, and another small action moved the work forward. By the end of the week, something shifted. Clients that used to feel difficult felt clearer to manage. She found herself turning down projects that would have drained her. One client, who had seemed distant, scheduled a call and asked for a different kind of work. She accepted, and the new arrangement fit better with her strengths. Maya did not suddenly have perfect certainty, but she had steady motion, and the motion brought new possibilities. The turning point in her story was not a dramatic event. It was one small decision, to stop letting worry be the engine of her day. That decision created space for clearer action. That simple shift is available to you. You might worry about success, love, health, money, or how to be a good parent. You might feel the pressure to have every detail figured out. The invitation here is to practice presence, not to banish feeling. Feelings show you what matters. Let them guide you, but do not let them drive. There will be days when anxiety is louder. That is okay. When it rises, return to the tools. Pause, map, move. Over time, you will find your grip loosening. Your attention will widen again. You will start to notice opportunities you could not see when you were clenched. If you want to deepen this, try a simple nightly habit. Before bed, ask yourself 3 questions. What took energy but did not help? What small thing will I do tomorrow? Keep answers short. This habit trains your mind to notice useful action and to reduce energy spent on worry. You are not doing this to become a calm person forever. You are doing this so you can act with more clarity and less exhaustion. That is the real gift. Clarity lets you choose with integrity. Less exhaustion gives you the bandwidth to be present with the people and work you care about. Remember, leaning does not mean you will control everything. It means you will place your effort where it lands. It means you will stop wasting energy on what you cannot steer. It means you will act from a steadier place, and outcomes will respond differently because your actions are clearer and better timed. If you feel a resistance to this idea, maybe a voice saying you might miss something if you stop pushing, test it gently. Give yourself 1 day to use the 2-minute pause 3 times, and then notice what happens. Keep a small note of what changes. Often the evidence arrives quickly. Sometimes it takes longer. Trust the practice, not the promise of instant perfection. Here are a few reminders to come back to. 1. Your body is an honest signal. When your chest tightens, slow down. 2. Clarity comes from motion that is calm, not from frantic busyness. 3. Small actions compound. A single sentence, a short call, a moment of attention. These things gather. Before we close, a short practical way to anchor this today. Choose one moment in your schedule, mid-morning, lunch, or late afternoon, and place a reminder that simply says, pause and choose one small step. When the reminder goes off, do the 2-minute pause, map the influence, and pick the smallest next action. Then do it. That small choice creates a new habit of calm doing. It is okay to be anxious. It is okay to want to make sure things go well. The invitation here is to stop letting anxiety make your choices. You hold the responsibility, and you also hold the power to let go of the strain. Letting go is not giving up. It is making space so you can see the better next step. I will end with one quick encouragement. Your nervous system remembers patterns faster than your mind does. That means small, consistent practices matter more than big, rare efforts. Keep the pauses short, the steps small, and the noticing kind. Over time, the knot loosens. If you want more practical practices like these, consider inviting them into your routine for a month. Small repetition rearranges attention, and attention rearranges life. Try one small change this week and see what shifts. If this was helpful, consider subscribing for more practices on quiet strength and simple presence.